First of all, I'd like to thank the singers for leading us in that wonderful song. And I'd like to thank the University of Minnesota Brass Ensemble under the direction of John Leonard, who played and played and played as we were marching in and getting settled. So let's hear a big hand of applause for our musicians. So I am Ann Waltner, the Interim Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, and it's my great pleasure to welcome the graduates and your friends and families, supporters and friends to this very special day, especially a day when it's so absolutely perfect outdoors. I think by the time we're done, it will still be absolutely perfect and you can go and enjoy it. We do have some distinguished guests on stage. Regent James Farnsworth, and Vice Provost and Dean of Undergraduate Education, Robert McMaster. We also have Amelius White, who is the Interim Director of our Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and he will be helping reading names. Ian Zucker, who is our student speaker. Holly Loomis, who is our speaker. And I don't actually know who everyone over here is. You're all fabulous and you're all welcome. So thank you for being with us today. This is a monumental occasion. One is brimming with possibility, promise, and pride. Throughout your time here at CLA, you have embraced the liberal arts education with open minds and open hearts. You have explored the depths of human knowledge, delving into the realms of literature, philosophy, and the arts. You have engaged in critical thinking, challenged conventional wisdom, and sought to understand the complexities of the world around you. Congratulations, class of 2024, and welcome to the rest of your lives. So let's have a big hand of applause for the graduates. Graduates, we are here today to celebrate your accomplishments together as a community of families, friends, faculty, and staff on this campus, filled with your memories and your accomplishments. I want to thank the faculty and staff who helped you, who mentored you, who steered you in the right direction, and who opened up new worlds for you. Thank you to all the parents, grandparents, partners, spouses, children, friends, dogs, cats, and baristas who were there to support, sustain, love, and caffeinate you through your years as undergraduates. Thank you all for being here. You should be very proud of your graduates. I know they couldn't have done it without you. Graduates, please join me in giving them a round of appreciative applause. Today marks the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and endless curiosity. But it's also the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with endless opportunities, unforeseen challenges, and boundless potential. As you leave the familiar halls of the University of Minnesota behind and step into the world beyond, remember this: you are ready. You are ready to navigate the complexities of our ever-changing world because you have honed your critical thinking skills, you have embraced diversity of thought, and you have learned to adapt and innovate in the face of uncertainty. You are ready to lead with empathy and compassion because you have explored the depths of human experience through literature, history, and the arts. And you are ready to make a difference because you understand the power of ideas to shape societies and transform lives. But most importantly, you are ready to be the architects of your own futures, to chart your own courses, pursue your passions, and create a life of purpose and meaning. So as you embark on the next great adventure, I urge you to embrace the unknown with open arms, never stop learning and growing, and always remember the values and ideals that have guided you thus far. You are emerging visionaries and innovators, exquisite artists, articulate communicators, soon to be brilliant entrepreneurs, teachers, lawyers, doctors, business leaders, poets, soldiers, logistics experts, and much more. You are emerging leaders with formidable skills. A genuine leader brings the range of creative, analytical, and communication skills we cherish in the liberal arts into their communities and into the workplaces. You bring that to the table. A compassionate leader leads with a heart, with empathy. You bring that to the table. We hope we've prepared you, and more importantly, that you've prepared yourself to make a difference in whatever way you choose to. Thank you for your resilience. The last 4 years have called upon all of us to find depths of resilience that we maybe didn't even know we had. Thank you for what I'm certain you'll deliver to our communities from the local to the global in the days and years to come. Congratulations, you did it. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to recognize the outstanding achievements of CLA's talented students. And so, it is a special treat to introduce our student speaker, Ian Zukor. Ian, go ahead, let's clap. Ian is originally from Plymouth, Minnesota, and he will be graduating with a degree in history and a minor in special education. He came to the university during his sophomore year as a transfer student, an experience that inspired him to become president of the institution's Transfer Student Board. During his time in CLA, Ian has also helped out in classrooms in both the Minneapolis and St. Paul public school districts. After graduating today, Ian intends to return to the University of Minnesota to pursue a master's degree. So we'll see him again in this room in a couple of years, with the ultimate goal of becoming a social studies teacher. He embodies CLA's commitments to excellence and service, and it is a great pleasure to have him as our student speaker today. So please join me in welcoming Ian Zukor.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. And hello. Hello, graduates, audience members, faculty, and all the moms out here on Mother's Day. When I walked on to the campus of the University of Vermont for my first day of college, I certainly did not see myself here giving a commencement speech in Minneapolis at the end of my time in college. And it may seem funny having a transfer student be your speaker, but many of us are not where we expected to be 4 years on from starting college, especially given that we started at one of the most unique times in history. And I feel confident saying that, having just received my degree in history. For many, probably most of us, this will be our first normally functioning graduation. I'm glad we're here. Ironically, I was supposed to graduate from high school right here at Mariucci, where I had been selected to be a speaker. I never got that chance, but here I am today. Having gone to another school, I quickly learned that the University of Minnesota is no ordinary college. It is an exceptional and transformative institution. Regardless of your major, in the College of Liberal Arts, you were curious, you were creative, and you were persistent. You also probably spent way too much money on coffee and energy drinks, went to a few club meetings just for the free food, and cheered your head off every time we played Wisconsin or Iowa. On a more serious note, we learned a tremendous amount in classrooms, but perhaps just as much outside of classrooms. We learned to grow independent, to understand new perspectives, and to make our voices heard. But these skills are not just to get us through college. They extend into whatever lies ahead. We've built a strong foundation, but as we embark on our respective paths, it is our responsibility to continue to build upon that foundation, to be bold in our pursuits, compassionate in our interactions, and to question the status quo. For me, that will take shape as I enter the world of teaching social studies. For others in this arena, it will be as actors, anthropologists, artists, and other things that don't start with A as well. When else will you be able to say you had all those in the same place? In addition to the incredible variety of people here at the University of Minnesota, we have an incredible variety of spaces. From the silent sub-basement of Walter or Wilson Library to 50,000 roaring fans at Huntington Bank Stadium and everything in between. But remember these as more than just buildings. These are the places where you nailed an exam, tried a lab, decided to go abroad, cried tears of both joy and frustration, and where you met some of your best friends. In addition to the incredible spaces on campus, we've had the world's greatest and most golden gopher, Goldie. But more importantly, we have had incredible parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, partners, friends, professors, counselors, and more getting us here today. I have no doubt in my mind that this was a team effort, and that should not go unacknowledged. They helped us navigate extreme turbulence at the start of our college experience, and it has paid dividends. It would have been so much easier to lose hope, take a break, or fold altogether. But together, in the face of adversity, we fought for our futures. And now, as we go from eating ramen noodles and getting around on electric scooters to entering the more professional world, we need to remember the lessons that we learned in that difficult period and embrace uncertainty in the future. After all, look at where past uncertainty got us. It got us here, today, which marks not only the end of a journey, but also the start of one. Right here, we are at the crossroads of past accomplishments and future possibilities. Armed with the skills to make real change, we will spread out all over the world looking to make that positive difference. And whether you're going back to school, getting a job, or still figuring things out, hold dear all you accomplished in maroon and gold. But expand your legacy with passion, with grace, and with intent. And I have no doubt there will be challenges that lie ahead. But you've already shown that you can handle anything. A pandemic, countless late nights, and getting around all those turkeys on campus. Class of 2024 CLA graduates, I extend a huge and sincere congratulations to you. I wish you nothing but success. May you go forth and change the world and shape the future. Skayuma and go Gophers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Before we proceed, I have a technical question. Are you in the audience hearing a lot of feedback? I guess if the the answer is yes, clap loudly. Okay, so it's mainly here. You in the back, you're not hearing feedback? Okay. I think it's maybe just us up here that are hearing feedback. All right. Thank you very much. So at Commencement, we celebrate the achievements and the promise of students who will be tomorrow's leaders. Tomorrow's leaders, entrepreneurs, creative artists, and public servants. And we invite as keynote speakers people who model the highest ideals of leadership, creativity, and excellence. It is my great honor and pleasure to introduce such a person as today's keynote speaker, Holly Kirking-Loomis. That's her family over there, so we can all clap for her. Holly Kirking-Loomis is a senior U.S. diplomat who has served in China, Brazil, the Indo-Pacific, and throughout Latin America. Her roles have included serving as the State Department's Climate Change Director, Deputy Ambassador to the Marshall Islands, and Senior Advisor for the U.S. Special Envoy for Afghan women, girls, and human rights. Throughout it all, Holly has held steadfastly to her values of building institutions, caring for people, and conserving nature. Holly earned her bachelor's degree in international relations, summa cum laude, and her minor in economics from CLA. She also holds a master's degree in global policy from Tufts University, but she told me everything she knows she really did learn at the University of Minnesota. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our 2024 keynote speaker, Holly Kirking-Loomis.
Thank you, Dean, for such a warm welcome home. It is an absolute honor to be with all of you today, especially our graduates of 2024. In 6th grade, a classmate gave me the following advice, which has stuck with me ever since. Holly, she said, you'd be a lot more popular if you asked fewer questions in class. And she meant well, I think she did, but here I am 30 years later, still grappling with the implications of that advice. And I've come to the conclusion that we must ask tough questions, even and especially when it's unpopular to do so. My name is Holly Kirking-Loomis. I am a very proud College of Liberal Arts graduate. It's a pleasure to be with you, Dean, regents, professors, families, mothers on Mother's Day, watching your children graduate, families and friends. But it is a special privilege to stand before you, our class of 2024. Thank you for inviting me to share a few personal reflections. Now, my sons, who are here today, and are on middle school, they like to remind me that I was born in the 1900s. And so back in the 1900s at Middlebrook Hall, I was like so many kids. I didn't know what the future would look like, and so I started down a pre-med path. At my first resume-enhancing work-study job, I cared for rats and monkeys in an animal research lab, which led me to question, why am I washing rat and monkey cages when what I want to do is read and write and study history and forge a way to make a difference in this world at a transformational scale. So when I changed my major, I realized my parents had an unpopular question of their own. Holly, what will you do as an undeclared liberal arts major? So during my time here at Minnesota, I went forward and I forged that answer for myself. Today is an opportunity to honor our graduates, and it's an opportunity to honor those people who accompany us along the way in this university. And when I think back of my experience as an undergraduate here, one woman stands out as influencing me and my trajectory. There is a service learning teacher in the Spanish department. Her name is Kathleen Ganley. I'm sure some of you know her. And I am among 3,000 students that she has deployed as volunteers in the Hispanic community throughout the Twin Cities over 24 years. What an incredible example of service leadership, and thank you. What an incredible example this woman has been of a servant leader who has made a difference in her own community through supporting us as volunteers, but importantly, we all take those experiences with us, and certainly I did as a young diplomat on my first assignment in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. Also, outside of the classroom, I made some questionable decisions of my own, and being from the 1900s, I had the advantage of social media in its infancy. So I want to take a moment and just say, as I've lived around the world, I joined the Foreign Service from the College of Liberal Arts. I've been to Beijing and to Brazil and amazing places in between. But the further I've traveled, the more I've come to appreciate and long for community, home, and family. And so I want to take a moment and thank all of you families here who have stood beside our liberal arts graduates, because a liberal arts education prepares us for a life of purpose, empowers us to be agents of change, and it equips us for the transformations in times of unprecedented change. And as we all know, we are living through some of the most dramatic changes in human history. During your undergraduate lives, AI has come to be a part of our everyday lives. The discourse on how AI develops, how it's deployed in our service, should be led by liberal arts people. And that puts you all on the front lines to ask unpopular questions, to be open-eyed, open-minded, and open-hearted as you steer our species through these changes to come. Your generation will also be transformational in resolving climate change. It is unfair to ask you to grapple with the implications of climate change to solve this global problem, and you have to do it. You didn't cause this problem, but you will be responsible to ask questions of people in power, and as you become those people in power, to make policies that make a difference. Persuade others to act, and very importantly, prepare and comfort your neighbors as they face uncertain environment. You know, I'll never forget arriving in the Marshall Islands. It's probably one of the most climate vulnerable countries in the world, and it's an atoll nation. So what that means is, submerged volcanoes under the sea grew coral reefs along the rim, and eventually land emerged from the surface of the ocean. So you arrive in the Marshall Islands 6 hours into the middle of the ocean from Hawaii, and you land on a narrow strip of land with ocean on both sides. I found myself questioning, why are people not terrified all of the time in this vulnerable place? Teenagers sailed canoes, parents hustled to make a living, and meanwhile, sea levels are rising and storms are intensifying. But two things occurred to me in Majuro, the capital. The first is that we humans, we must compartmentalize to get through our day-to-day and to make the change that we want to see in our world. And the second is that we are all that vulnerable, just on a different trajectory than the Marshallese. And I've realized as a diplomat, so much of what we do is asking the right questions and listening to the answers from everyone and every side of the equation. So as if these tectonic plates of AI and climate change weren't enough, we all can viscerally feel that we are living through a period of transformation of our political, economic, and social systems. Every one of us feels that sense of unease in the pit of our stomach, and it is not just graduating in uncertain times. The tectonic plates of humanity are shifting. Those changes are affecting countries and the relationship among countries. I was in the Carlson building the morning of September 11th, 2001. In the aftermath of September 11th, U.S. involvement in Afghanistan would shape the world and the career of my fellow diplomats. even though so many of us were students like all of you in 2001. And so it was shocking to see Kabul fall to the Taliban 2.5 years ago. We can recall those images of people fleeing, people who had courageously built a liberal and free society, especially for women, for a generation. You know, in a crisis, we all have a choice. We can have opinions and watch, or we can find a way to be of use, to be in service. And so when my Wisconsin hometown was selected as a safe haven for those Afghan refugees, I left my family in Sao Paulo and I returned home to build a refugee camp in Wisconsin. We received 92 flights carrying 13,000 Afghan men, women, and children as we built the largest town in western Wisconsin. Some of my most meaningful work as a diplomat has happened 5 miles from my parents' home farm. And you know, most of my Afghan friends arrived with a backpack. Imagine if you are leaving your country tomorrow or even in an hour, what you put in that backpack, facing that uncertainty. So in our refugee camp, babies were born, kids played with kites and soccer, and women sewed. We navigated through measles and COVID, and all through it, the families who arrived had 2 questions. The first is what had become of the family and homes they had left behind? And the second was, what did the future hold in a new country for their children? We answered the questions as best we could and admitted when we did not know the answers. You know, I was really proud to be from Sparta, Wisconsin. My hometown showed a welcoming and a generosity that far exceeded the expectations of any community of such modest means. But what moved me the most were the Afghan people, who served others in the worst and most uncertain days in their lives. They translated for a neighbor's medical appointment. They taught a stranger's child to speak basic English. Afghan women who had spent a generation building inclusion for women in Afghanistan helped us run that camp in a culturally appropriate and accessible way for all of our guests. We can learn so much from those courageous people. And many of those Afghans who made it to safety continue to be moral voices and authoritative voices against the Taliban degradation of women and girls. So you all, we here today have answered the question, and what of a liberal arts degree? Our degrees prepare us to lean into curiosity, to embrace uncertainty, and to make the most of the paths wherever they may lead us. And you, the graduating class of 2024, you have already proven that you have the chops to lead through the uncertainties yet to come. You made it through a global pandemic, canceled commencements, through lockdown, online classes. Some of you helped guide this city through the awful murder of George Floyd. And that response resonated around the world. We were in Brazil as we watched Brazilians take to the streets after the killing of a black man buying groceries. It was remarkable to be a part in that moment of Brazilians and people around the world sharing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s vision that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And so, what can we do moving forward? 3 things. First, have a curious mind. Ask questions and listen thoughtfully to the answers, including the people you may not agree with. We need innovative leaders who can see the way through multidimensional problems. Second, have open eyes. Pay attention to the beauty and the humanity all around us every day. Retain the wonder of my 1-year-old who sees and touches a tree for the first time. Question long-held assumptions and the status quo. Say clearly the emperor has no clothes, even if it's unpopular to do so, and especially if it's unpopular to do so. And maybe most importantly, have an open heart. People around you are scared and anxious. They are frightened of the unknown, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know who to blame. Have compassion as long as you can maintain it, because with an open heart, we build communities and relationships. We can see past our divisions and find humanity in the people, even those who offend us most. So I come from a Protestant tradition, and spirituality is at the center of our family life. I want to end with a benediction that's appropriate for all faiths and backgrounds. My friends, life is so short. We do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who walk this path along with us. So please, please, be quick to love, make haste to be kind. Please always learn from and connect to the past. Strive to understand human stories and constructs. Appreciate what makes us human and connected to one another. Let's go forward open-eyed, open-minded, and open-hearted as you, the class of 2024, embody and build the community and the world yet to come. Congratulations. We are so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Now it's my pleasure to introduce a special video celebrating the class of 2024, a group of students who have embodied perseverance at every step of their undergraduate journey. So if everything is working, it will come on right now.
The early to middle years of college were filled with unexpected hurdles, but these students faced them head on. From virtual events to in-person gatherings, the class of 2024 made memories that will last a lifetime. heartfelt thank you to the mentors who guided these students through their academic journey. Dressed in regalia, ready to step into a new chapter of their lives.
I'd like to thank the Liberal Arts, Technologies, and Innovation Services, we call them Lattice, and the undergraduate education staff for helping to deliver this special congratulatory message to our class of 2024. And now the reason you're all here, the presentation of degrees. Members of the class of 2024, you will cross the stage one by one as your name is announced. Dr. Emilius White, who is at the other podium, will assist with the reading of names. I think to a large degree that's automated. In the case there's a glitch, he will fix it. After you've returned to your seats, please remain seated until the end of the program. Your commencement is not complete until Regent Farnsworth confers your degree, and he will confer the degrees to all of you at once. So now on to the business at hand. And it would be useful if we could keep the noise level down to a moderate roar. This is an important ceremony, and we need to all be attentive to it. So we will begin.
Nathan James Ritter. Ian Robert Zucker, high distinction. William James Chancellor. Matthew Streitz. Grace Laura Brunfeld, summa cum laude, high distinction. Chelsea Nicole Williams. Jenna Lee Hoff. Claire Therese Holly. Chloe Aileen Cure Hendrickson, high distinction. Gianna Danielle Diaz. Arlie Weber Lee. Sam Anderson, distinction.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Ash Husler Wood, distinction. Brianna E. Toulousan, distinction. Mura Shang, distinction. Jillian Elise Rath, distinction. Jasper Henrik Norden. Ruwaida Abdurrahman Salat. Lavina Sameh Helmi Iskander, distinction. Grace Liu. Myrna Nassim Nassif Abdel Kodus, cum laude, distinction. Margaret Meled Shanuda, summa cum laude, high distinction. Rachel Joy Hubbard. Madeline Satsuki Malin. Jandan Yalman. Tom Barakat, summa cum laude, distinction. Jennifer Gutierrez Rosas. Elizabeth Carol Ann Swenson. Matthew Freed. Tyler Hamilton. Catherine Ann Williams. Moises Montenegro Ocampo. Jasmine Sky Gulick. Lily Beth Williamson, high distinction. Lindsay Claire Preston, high distinction.
Are they next to each other? Oh, okay.
Ben Wellborn. Max Charles Overheiser. Akash Tembe. Muchi Kailu Yang. John Purnell, distinction. Nicole Lee Schmidtken, summa cum laude, distinction. Justin Richard James Pasqua. Maxwell Zimmerman. Ethan Eric Rubel, distinction. Ethan Colin Chapman, high distinction. Qasim Salim. Paige Cody. Anna Rose Samit. Georgia Helen Trigestad. Sydney Abigail Fredericks. Lauren Neal.
Jackson R. Brandt.
Emma Catherine McMillan Davey. Ella Grace England. Raphael R. Legursky. Callie Lindsay Radenbaugh. Lauren Riley Keefe. Betsy Keena. Brenna Kaza. Distinction.
Elizabeth Allen. Distinction.
Bissy Perry. Riley Noel Showalter. Distinction.
That woman there, her name hasn't been read and she's been waiting. She didn't, the woman, she was walking off right there.
Julie No.
Yeah, she didn't give me a card, so she must, yeah.
Emma Lillian May. Maya Grace Nikolai. Sean Schweiger. Distinction. Adira May Powell. High distinction. Robert Burns Rollin. Isabella Tate Spitznagel. Drew Matthew Osmondson. Madison Salab Yang. Emily No. Distinction. Bin Xuan Nguyen. Ashley M. Meyer.
Nice shoes.
Alexis Ann Trendy.
Ethan
Kendall
Bockenhauer.
Aaron Porter. High distinction.
Nathaniel
Emma Marie
Nelson.
Montejo
Su-
Flandes.
Summa cum laude, how distinction.
Ania Karen. Emma Marie Montejo Flandes. Ania Karen. Camden Christopher Stevens. Distinction. Miriam Elise Anglin. Camden Christopher Stevens. Distinction. Nora West Sankovitz. Distinction. Sebastian Dominguez. Distinction. Haley Ambrose. Charles Justice Casilius. Jade Nicole Sales. Nolan Wade. Noah Samuel Johnson. Emilio Lombera Alanis. Catherine Elizabeth Mammon. Megan Best, distinction.
Marianne
Caleb
Joanna
Emily Prost.
Kazo Shoglo.
Maria Giglio. Alyssa Marie Fueling.
Got it. So they should. Got it. Okay.
Charlie Perry. Camille Cornea. Arthur Trong Dao. Ethan Daniel Browning. Emma Thornbury Sneeden. Jenna Lee Thonis. Rachel May Schultz. Isabella Shively. Janan Anbar. Anna Elizabeth Lucas, distinction. Larissa Ann Ernst, distinction. Hamza Omar Mohamud. Liam George Edgar, distinction. Lakin Kate Thompson. August Weinreich. Sanskar Bhavesh Bhakta. Anisa Mohamud. Elizabeth Rose Mattis. Jeremy Michael Dans.
Zoe Reeves. Keiko Bedford.
Silas A. Wheats. Bella Clarice Litvinoff, high distinction. Connor Robert Bennett. Samantha Page Conlin. Allison Grace Mandler. Lily Anna Nunez. Mai Nya Tao. Shannon Marie Russick. Brooks William Parkin. Joseph Christian Balsavich. Ismail Ibrahim Mohammed. Evan Joseph Tarnowski. Jacob Thomas Young. Will Schonecker. Naiqi Jiang. Julia Marie Pexa, distinction. Samantha Rose Meverden, distinction. Kaylin Marie Schwalbach,
To the guy up, yep, yeah. 'Cause he'll-
Nathan Richard Rohde, Caleb Reed, high distinction. Emily Knutson, distinction. Bela Victoria Konkali, Lucero Adelina Loyo, distinction. Chelsea Kusera, distinction. Cheng Yin Chuang, Elena Ann Jameson,
How Tran.
Summer Olson, high distinction. Jackson Collins Ferguson,
Varu Rasha Senthil Kumar.
Saisum Yuktha Shankar, Alexis Wynn, distinction. Fung Win, Kang Xiang, high distinction. Peter Wynn, Sophia Jade Browning, high distinction. Sienna Elizabeth Ecker, John Grossman, Elias Emmanuel Ramirez Croman, distinction. Kess Robert Oko, Francis Pagar Flangia, Isabel Sophie Madalena, Lynn Margaret Stockdale, Alan Muaj Her, Maya Jean Mera, summa cum laude, distinction. Sahita Takela, Ranjani Hariharan, Joshua Everett Boran, Ronnie Tafoya Perez, Amira Giovanna Crescini, Salome Bonini,
Well, yeah. There's about 1,000. Yeah.
Bree Marie Honegraph, high distinction. Jadel Massa Yalarte, Julia E. Borelli,
Medaway Pasang.
Ayantu Charlie Handessa, Asante Wasin Bekele, Lars Wuthrich, Dante Schroeder, Yang Chen, distinction. Jia Xing Ying. Jia Chun Chun. Shi Hong Xu. Cindy Chen. Yuan Jiang, high distinction. Blake E. Walters.
Don't do that.
Alexis Varner. Starlee Vu. Katie Phillips. Rueda Nasser Al-Harasi, distinction. Mohammed Shafiq Abdul Halim Pami. Yasmin Iman Binti Junaidi Jafar, high distinction. Wan Noor Afifa Wan Zainal Abidin.
Aiden Harris Remizam.
Ken Lung Chia. Zachary Zhao, distinction. De Xiaoqi. Daha Adam Salad. Nick Viravat Fomtaliketh. Kosai Al-Raisi.
Omi Nadua Bathron, distinction.
Perry Alexandra Grinowitz. Daniel John Scheel. Maisha Nujhat. Elissa Morgan Marks. Kaya Star Schomburg, summa cum laude, high distinction. Salma Mohammed Hassan. Manashri Saith Padilla, distinction. Ikhlas Abdi Hakim Mohammed. Suleika Ahmed Abbas. Muna Omar Mohammed. Ikram Noruddin Abdul Qadir. Ikran Asid Hassan. Sumaya Yusuf Ali. Sandes Mohammed Hussain. Alfred Gabriel Wagner. Mason David Neal. Amal Mohammed. Farhan Khan.
Nope, that one there. Yep.
Rawan Isa, distinction. Annapurna Yogesh Rao, summa cum laude, distinction. William Saul. Emily Tomrot. Romel Kenneth Padua. Abdurrahman Ali. Abdurrahman M. Ali. Amar A. Mohammed.
Navya Devda distinction.
Nasruddin A. Kudin. Abdurabi I. Mohammed. Adam Salad Elmi. Abdi Malik Mohammed Sharieh. Abdi Rahman Yassin Mohammed.
Mushin Muhammad.
Mohammed Mohammed. Sam Jalal Bakri. Andar Mohammed Farhan. Ibak Abdi Abdullahi. Hamza Mohammed Gela. Khalid Ismail. Aaron Donald Fennell. Mildred Serwa Ajapon. Tonia Theralyn Helb. Abdi Hakim Ahmed Bashi. Musin Yusuf Ahmed. Mohammed Dek Hussein. Abdi Rahman Ibrahim. Mohammed Huzaifa Anwar. Adelaide Granzi. Rajiv Scott Red, cum laude, high distinction. Ling Yi Shu, high distinction. Xiaohan Zhu, distinction. Yu Zhao Tan. Yi Yuan Tang. Ernzer Li, high distinction. Luke William Bertossi. Kaya Lee Brands, high distinction. Tony Min Win. Nicholas Ferderer. Leo Wills Goldblatt, summa cum laude, high distinction. Dane Allen Germany, summa cum laude, distinction. Isabel Lynn Haglin, summa cum laude, high distinction. Annika Schroeder. Abdi Nasser A. Abdul Qadir. Khalid Mohammed Omer. Aryan Osmani. Imran Aliji. Adam N. El Kashawi. Alec Nailey. Randy Ang Tan. Haewon Ryu. Bryce Michael Forsyth. Colby Aaron Pitzenberger. Dylan Nicholas Hamry. Justin Thomas Carter. McKenna Joan Mechtel. Emma Ann Lookner. Distinction. Carter Jeffrey Yost. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Yusra Mohammed Elsir Hassan. High distinction. Masta Jacque Joyner. Jordan Kavai Dotson. Carissa Suzanne Orlando. Sarah Weggy. Distinction. Ruchita Bogiredi. Jarrett D. Cleveland. Jack Nilson Dickey. Stanley Cherniak. Jaime Pedregon Mendoza. Benicio Mendiola Johnson. Sarah J. Dawley. Atsiri Ellen Amador Torres. Emma Irene Karras. High distinction. Hazel Jane Nahan. Distinction. Ashley Marie Thilmoni. Annabella Meyer. High distinction. Annabelle Knowles. Amira D. McClendon. Jacob Meyer.
Congratulations.
Colin Olson. Nazish Almas Khan. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Shanal Tausif Kawaja. High distinction. Melena Nindanis Martin. Anna Chizhevsky. Jane Elise Rogers. Cece Howes. High distinction. Joshua Eric Schultz. Morgan Elizabeth Bobble. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Victoria Robin Albertson. Distinction. Ashley S. Peters. Summa cum laude. Charlotte Yan Ming Lee. distinction. Angelica Anaí Lopez Solis, distinction. Mai Ya Cha, Alexis Tao Ni To, Inga Lady Slipper Capistrant Kinney, high distinction. Aaron Avery, Tenzin Shedup Chaksam, distinction. Andy Blanc Sheng, Lindsay Lemire, high distinction. Pa Zhong Li, Grace Patricia Lynch, Siri Belfuel Vorvik, high distinction. Peter Culpepper Grace, summa cum laude, distinction. Sebastian Jerome Dvorak, Abby DeShera, Lily Rita Strunk, Hans Gabrielson, distinction. Callie Marie Berry, distinction. Addie Ray Warg, distinction. Lucy Elizabeth Treat, high distinction. Caitlin Ann Larson, Sumaya Awais Mohammed, Shalom Berhane, Hyun Young Cho, high distinction. Amanda Lee Robinson, Jenny Shu, distinction. Brandon Price, Mukhtar Tababuanga Albert, Man Ni Chao, Hei Yin Feng, Eric Pulsfoot, Nate Silverman, Chase Gerald Hodkevich, high distinction. Noah Christian Lundeen, Sylvia K. Greenwood, distinction. Grace Elizabeth Gerard, high distinction.
You did it.
Emma Elena Rose Verkeilen, Grace Elizabeth Stranick, Caleb D. Harris, William Arndt, distinction. Jacqueline Eve Fay, distinction. Nathan Shane Hauk, distinction. Evan St. Clair Saunders Pierce, high distinction.
Kendall Aaron Porter, high distinction.
Brian Shermer, Shayla Jo Miller, summa cum laude, high distinction. Max Meyer, summa cum laude, distinction. Gabriel Mascias Castillo, summa cum laude, distinction. Ethan Joseph Stafford. Jude Nair. Matisse Amy Bolstrom, high distinction. Marshall Frederick Urban. David Olin Goldsmith. Jillian Lorraine Hughes. Leah Marie Green. Matthew Joseph Krelitz, summa cum laude, high distinction. Chip Specker. Colton William Emerson, high distinction. Gabriella Curiel, summa cum laude. Amber Marie Gaylord, high distinction. Riley Alexandra Doty. Roman Joseph Swartz, distinction. Monica Mary Bain. Thena Marie Mooney. Adeline Marie Peters, summa cum laude, distinction. Isabella P. Minuston. Ji Ching Quan, distinction. Deidre Tao. Josephine Bell Draheim. Wayne Allen Erickson. Logan Matthew Staley. Reed Alton Larson. Kaylee A. Stryker. Hafsa Mohammed. Alina Nicole Johnson, cum laude. Megan Grace Eastley. Natasha Jade Warwick, distinction. Greta Lam, distinction. Chutima Zhang. Andre Anicescu. Quincy Moore Bush. Mohammed Abdullahi Ali. Abdilatif M. Heba. Adil Mohammed Zada. Nikhil Samuel Rajkumar, high distinction.
Thomas Otto.
Alicia Tran. Shri J. Lauren Pardee. Jackson Thomas Konepke. Grace Catherine Bodwin, Summa cum laude, distinction. Jordan Taylor Stanky. L. Westland. Brianna Vancouver. Kaylee Lipsky, distinction.
Lauren Heim.
Maeve Lee Grace Oak. Sarah Ann Johnson, high distinction. Kendra Lee Peterson, high distinction. Henry Frederick Ulrich. Kyle N. Lee. Alex Nicholas Chesek. Elizabeth Autumn Bambury, high distinction. Paul Luna. Meghana Rajulapati. Danielle Florence Lively. Olivia Grace Olson, high distinction. Celeste Kate Andreessen. Seth Friedlander. Jackson Kentfield Whitman. Shayla M. Courteau. Kylie Grace Howitt, high distinction. Taryn Elise Shuka, high distinction. Salah Wazwaz, distinction. Carmen Annalisa Costello, high distinction. Sophia Marie Pico. Peyton Jewel Conover. Gabrielle Elizabeth Jory, high distinction. Emily Nora Marks, distinction. Nina M. Gorley. Reagan A. Carter, high distinction. Ryan Andrew Honfeld. Caitlin M. Shea, distinction. Brianne Benwart, distinction. Noah Royal. Haley Rose Sprato. Hugh Min Lee. Zuan Park. David John Linder. Colin Alexander Houseladen. Naya Elizabeth Swanson. Alexa Jocelyn Martinez. Ariel Sierra McRory. Pao Zhe Chang. Piper A. Du. Grace Lee, distinction. Gabriel James Kopp Philick, distinction. Tyler Rohde. Bhakti Siddiqui. Yasmin Ashi. Romeo Lewis Sweeney, high distinction. Isabella Catherine Butterfass, summa cum laude, high distinction. Anastasia Hope Thompson, high distinction. Cedric White. Zach Ross. Maxwell J. Lacey. Pranav Sundararajan, summa cum laude, distinction. Felipe Schmid Bras. Dhruv Jamb, summa cum laude, distinction. Ook Sain Prats. Joshua Richard Stevens. Tony Pham, distinction. Upanishad Majumdar. Maria Jose Gracia. Keaton Jensen Crawley. Ella Jo Weber. Matea Amalie Spaeth. James Brian Reed, high distinction. Aria Quinn. Katrina Ann Lindgren, distinction. Carly Marie Christensen, distinction. Lauren Burris. Andrea Elizabeth Jonas. Alyssa Burr Schmidt, distinction. Tammy Ann Bierencott. Claire A. Binnicker. Henry Thomas Emmerich. Henry Polsky Larson. Aidan Spencer Jezzard. Alex Hella. Alvin Uma George. Ridwan Nasser Ali. Miko Tapscott.
Benjamin Shoto Schrock.
Zachary Robert Ryan. Sion Gurmai Kika, summa cum laude, distinction. Logan Delmonico. Emma Lena Ray. Allie Bartlett. Isabella Angelina Andor, distinction. Michael J. Orlowski, high distinction. Samuel William King. Rowan Anastasia Wiley, summa cum laude, high distinction. Michelle Marianne Andrus, high distinction. Annika Eve Sodi. Rachel Larson. Jaden Morgan Fix. Lindsay E. Handke. Claire Jean Wilcox, high distinction. Danny Joe Dahlside. Hina Sasaki, distinction. Di Ha Win. Samantha Schreck. Isaiah Matthew Langowski. Kathleen Zhang, summa cum laude, high distinction. Alexis Cran. Lisa Paulina Peña, summa cum laude, high distinction. CJ Bonk, high distinction. Angel and Highness. Kathy Vang. Pania Vang. Abigail Marshall. Ella Catherine Coyer, distinction. Cole David O'Brien, high distinction. Eva Elizabeth Hester, high distinction. Lucas Rizlov. Morgan Elizabeth Rist. Claire Elizabeth Laughlin. Zhao Xie, distinction. Roy Askarov, high distinction. Dylan Jason Brandt. Luke William Misha. Ethan Steiger. Dante Colmenares. Elizabeth May Rogers.
Carson Fredrickson.
Jonah Richard Keffer. Rishabh Ambecker. Eric Benjamin Stoley. Zakaria Mohammed Abdi. Robert James Wilhite. Elizabeth Dwabsi Yang, high distinction. Selam Fakir Bushin. Maxwell Donovan Kretschmar, distinction. Michael Amin Youssef. Athena Cleanthe Pitsavas, distinction. Adam Johns. Oliver John Dow. Grace Catherine Ann Fabienki. Hadley Elizabeth Holst, distinction. Hope Nixon. Gao Nu Yang.
Just smile and don't trip.
Ali Kate Bonander. Alexander Fettig. Drake William Jett. Simon Charles Fruchtman. Salma Abdi Nasser Abdi. Ava Tao. Angel Montgomery. Keegan M. Wolf, summa cum laude, high distinction. Dawson Granger. Jack Anderson. Samuel Morbitz. Cole Michael Krolichek. Min Yu. Johanna Dia White. Eli James Waitis.
Marcelino Nassar Mukhar, distinction.
Nabiha Naeem Chaudhry, high distinction.
Oliver Wenbo Dai. Jai Wan.
Inwo Wang.
Wanman Go.
Ahmed Hassan Mahmoud. Lucas James Moses Thompson. Madeline Joy Helvig. Richard Michael Patton. Daryl Demmaya Weleji. Michael James Mulhall. Ainsley Laurel Schweer, high distinction. Barry Schwer. Alex Stephen Crary. Madeline Elizabeth Bajelas. Abigail Peltier. Cole Joseph Castellon. Emma G. Kindlesberger. Brett M. Bowman. Cole Thomas Duginski. Michaela Wood. Ikhlas Musa. Gao J. Xiang. Margaret Wong. Daphne Esohasam Pobie. Zina Fayez Dame, distinction. Nuruddin Ali Bare.
Ladon Mogi.
Jacinda Grace Kurian. Success Azina Swen. Ino Musa Michelle Glovu. Ugoma Ugeze Ugorji. Princess Gateau. Thomas Van Ort, high distinction. Esteban Peña Ponce. Sumeya Hamza Abdul Rahman. Belinda Irene Howman Miller. Daniel Joseph Wadahan. Shukri Isse.
Joshua Thompson.
Sophia Marie Galing, distinction. Anna K. Grasset, distinction. Karma Linz. Karma Linz. Alex Vang. Thomas Kramer. David J. Wang. Spencer Michael Sandy. Dylan Thomas Nilsson. Xander York Romer, distinction.
Andrew Seneca Frame.
Thomas Kurt Erdahl. Elizabeth Rachel Page, high distinction. Emanuela Obiomo Aniboga. Anisha Bhakta. Anna McKay. Bridget K. Tooley, summa cum laude, high distinction. Manasi Mangesh Mane, summa cum laude, distinction. Taylor Marie Brady. Lorna Ann Kelly. Megan Michelle Jingle. Abigail Dixie Strand, summa cum laude, high distinction. Rosalind Day Johnson. Ayana Marie Beckett. Aaron Bronkmeyer, cum laude, high distinction. Margot DuPont. Phoebe Kimes. Samantha Tao Win. Thea Loren S. Pineda, summa cum laude, distinction. Katja Johnson. Lars Robert Michael Living. Hallie Jameson Knoll. Gwyneth Pickthall, distinction. Ruthie Allgood, summa cum laude, distinction. Jordan Patrick French. Marissa McConnell, distinction. Tanvi Abraham, distinction. Maya Loki Mandal. Hannah Mae Warsh, high distinction. Carolyn Almira Beaton Lands. Macy Lorraine McKinley, magna cum laude. Dominic Alejandro Navarez. Olivia Marie Jones, distinction. Cameron Carey. Deborah Aletha Rudin. Marissa Beth Bugan. Isabel Ann Bale. Grace Elizabeth Foss, high distinction. Caleb Reese Hannes. Chloe Louise Wingert. Katie Lose. Erica Roderick. Kai Brindamore. Jude Pettit. Sophia Diana Lamana. Negwan Resk. Allison Marie Makovic, summa cum laude. Madison Rose Sauk, high distinction. Amanda Singh. Sashana Margaret Wambeck. Grace L. Hoskins. Nicholas James Walfred, high distinction. Lydia Wandwassen, high distinction. Trevor Lyndon Koski, high distinction. Mao Chang, distinction. Su Yuan Tsai. Chen Yue Kong. Chi Meng Zhang. Gang Qing. Moachi Tao. Chi Kang Thao. Ethan Chervam Yang. Fong Vu. Nawang Sherab. Thomas Brandis. William Farrar Orfield, summa cum laude. Alicia Sophie Mutesi. Douglas M. Samuka. Jordan Wald, high distinction. Thomas Carmu. Kayla Simon. Mira Maria High, summa cum laude, distinction. Elizabeth Murphy. Margaret Colfax Peters, cum laude. Gustavo Alfonso Vizcaya. Alina San. Hanifa Tafahu Condor. Andrea Vargas Mungare.
Yep.
Oba Omar. Amy Aponchik. Meow Meow He. Bei Su. Su Young Yu, distinction. Jia Liang Yuan. Zuhao Wang. Zhehang Sheng.
Bing Yi Lu, distinction.
Yu Chen Tian. Yiru Fang, high distinction. Jian Song San. Nolan Caleb Johnson. Mark Jerome Kivamaki, distinction. Charlie Liu. Samantha Emily Halter, distinction. Amy Lee. Michaela Angelica Mullins. Edward Tzu Ching Chung. Michelle Suabkua Tao. Grace Namali Lee. Ajoke Alowonle. Nicholas Walter Soldner. Linus Paul Turnquist, distinction. Ryan Peeler, distinction. Connor Allen Young Troke. Ian Patrick Kenny, high distinction. Connor Eric Michelson. Joey Frederick Klein. Lydia Therese Pruer, high distinction. Steph Cokes. Ai Jia Zhang, distinction. Blake Travis Olson. Matthew Kong Pang Yang. Natalie Angelina Barrett. Bryn Avery Wynn, high distinction. Nadia Joseph, magna cum laude, high distinction. Samantha Mueller, distinction. Jackson Ryan Balch, distinction. Anna Faye Niedermeyer, distinction. Sarah Ann Schuster, magna cum laude. Gavin Philip Johnson, high distinction. Charles Nazarian. Caden Oldchenbruns. Sawyer Braden Cook. Rohan Maher Ruckam. Jackson Edward Ryko. Tate John Gilbertson, distinction. Oliver Christian Hayes. Caden William Stubstad. Joey Rogalski. Wenhua Liu. Evan Alexander Sr. Nick Strike. William Hayden Page. Aaron Leo. Eric Liu. Zuhan Cha. Grant Nathaniel Antoine Hubble.
Allie Patricia Scoro.
Ruby Jean Moss. Erica Jacqueline Christensen. Allie Danielle Kempf. Maya Lorgy. Annika Marie James Olson. Sophia Volpe. Ushmil Sharmin Alzad. Sonia Rose Clevin. Carly Dahl. Annika True Hamill. Alicia Shepard. Adriana Regina Chitala. Janina Anna Oscarsdaughter. Sophia Janina Anna Oscarsdaughter. Sophia Ann Carlson. Distinction.
Listen to your mom. Congratulations.
Jan Achumbre. Rover Polito. Stephen Weiler. Mustafa Jallo. Josh Wojner, high distinction. Abigail Arlene Vella, distinction. Teresa Catherine Nelson. Natalie Chung. Fatuma Mahamud. Samantha Rose Oakley. Noura Miller Qasim. Dante Pranav Anand. Corey James Hines. Dan Wong. Lauren Kathleen Lawler.
Fan. I was going to sit, but I'm like, if Ann can stand the entire time.
Alexandra Cahill Lewis. Cooper Hancock. Joshua Falk. Madeline Helena Jordan. Michael Ramirez. Grace Elizabeth Matheson. Distinction. Scott Thomas Petty. Haley Elizabeth Antchak. David Nathaniel Hendrickson. Ethan Donahoe. Miles Joshua Cowell. Marco Alexander Stoimenovich. Ayan Youssef. Ella Coburnet, magna cum laude, distinction. Madison Ashley Fight. Andrew Amach Ansa. Brandon Thomas Pritchard, summa cum laude, distinction. Stephanie Mai Ha. Abigail Brianne Peckold. Tuji Tegan Burka. Paul Joseph Battistini Delovo. William John Liang Vuong. Aniji Obami. John Ryan O'Connell. Parker McMorrow. Luke Patrick Chaman, distinction. Kimball Yutzi, distinction. Lauren Ann Stanley. Rachel Ann Erasmus, distinction. Caitlin Elizabeth Knudsen. Emma Laurel Anderson. Ray Ju Gabrielle Wong. Nicholas O. McCure. Kyle Kirk Helfenstein. Merlin Van Alstein. Annie Ruth Russell Pribno. Grace Kathleen Flanagan Babatunde. Dola Yinka Ademola Green, summa cum laude. Hannah Vallejos Duque. Sabrina Ali. Amina Ahmed Abdi. Zainab Abdullahi Shire Igali. Mohammed Murad. Nader Wasim Mustafa. Ibrahim Ayotomiwa Ismail Adebiyi. Adam Shaheen. Maximilian Troy Holm. Eling Tom. Distinction. Lily Therese Rebus. Gigi Mubina Jibril. Distinction. Octavian Kato Kaijage. Zehua Li.
Sendong Gao.
Isabel O'Grady. Risa Violet Vandegrift. Distinction. Mia Alexandra Schwartz. High distinction. Mikola Stepchuk. Nathan Wells Greeman. Fahad G. Abdallah. Zachariah Bashir Dolal. Emily Jimin Shim. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Marion Angeli Patricio Musney. Maggie Hassler. Distinction. Claire L. Ruthenbeck. Emerald Harris. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Christian Sage Galkey. Nicholas Gunstrom. Distinction. Emma Caroline Voigt. High distinction. Madeline G. McGarry. High distinction. Sophia Louise Tarasik. Distinction. Xiangshu Kong. Zhi Ma. Erin Adana Nelson. High distinction.
Elsbeth Epperson. High distinction.
Beatrice Christine Grudel Lentz. Summa cum laude. Distinction. Annabelle Mott. Henry Elliott Muller. Colin Clark Bracewell. Alejandro Alas. Briar Flanders. Grady James McNaughton. Guy Van Sluten Fleischhacker. Natalie Rebecca Narvaez. Summa cum laude. High distinction. Hamza Hassan. Mustafa Osman Mideh. Dylan Edward Paulzine. Cam Limburg. Adam David Justin. High distinction. Ethan Daniel Buss. Summa cum laude. Distinction. Elizabeth Rose Getty. Elisavit Stathopoulos. Distinction. Faith Delaney Hall. Hao Wang. Lalitha Sahati Dendaluri, high distinction. Sharon Shrestha Buri. Taya Dupre Wagner. Abby Bills. Catherine Mariella Ortiz, distinction. Hannah Rose Krause, high distinction. Ellie Carolina Davis Sorensen. Samantha Jo Betker, distinction. Preeti Kumar. Ava Elizabeth Peterson, distinction. Cassandra Soar. Elise Ferlato. Noah Song Wook Zimprich. Bob Meekum. Peyton Air Catron, distinction. Emily Nicole Malmgren, distinction. Kylie Faith Johnson, distinction. Madeline Bess Swenson, high distinction. Henry James Reefer, distinction. Olin Michael Edwards, high distinction.
Sam Edwards.
Emily Irene Exline, distinction. Gabe Welch. Owen Isaac Schiegel, high distinction. William Frickstad. Ilhan Hassan Abdul. Antonio Gabriel Garcia. Dakin Boyd Hargest. Lucas Michael Schumacher, high distinction. Jenny Vang. Samia Hussein Mohammed. Kimberly Huang. Mridani Venkata Naga Penuganda. Fozia Mohammed Hussein. Jack Michael Bishard, distinction. Zachary David Hodgkins. Claire Ann Brennan. Taylor Chanel Barnes, distinction. Meredith May Coker. May Elizabeth Heineke. Samuel Morgan Osborne. Cecilia Joanne Baki. Connor Lawrence Duffy. Jesus Antonio Avila Flores. Gregory D. Bray, Jr. Kayla Raquel Daisy, high distinction. Sadea Bonnet Stowers. Isis Ari Knights. Deja Renee Jenkins. Olivia Grace Hamilton Pollock, distinction. Arjun Balyan. Igor Batista Pereira. Jacob Marcus Vanderleest. Elizabeth Tachinana.
Mohammed Haji.
Ephraim Wynn. Morgan Marie Moldenhauer. Cliveton Maigwa Ombongi. Ava Weko. Oreoluwa Oluwanifeme Akindele. Matia Haile Solomon, high distinction. Rediat Taye Watero, distinction. Mame Ama Efrie Adabor. Olivia Bigabwa. Uluwato Biloba Arinola Oshiberu. Kai Wilson. Christina Nyameche Yeboah. Emil Dwayne Sappho. Amal Ishtewi.
Okay. That's fine.
Omna Salah Mohammed.
Got it.
Rachel Elizabeth Bolin. Sarah Besteman. Ryan J. Daling. Benjamin Lewis Carlson Lokes, distinction. Jacob Harmon. Derek Alexander Wong, summa cum laude, high distinction. Stephen Charles Kaufman. Ella Mary Louise McClure, distinction. Ella Rosa Rodewald, distinction. Natalie Naomi Owie, high distinction. Charlotte Noel Stowe, distinction. Carlin Marie Grande.
Anne Noah Quinn. Song Han Park.
Caitlin Lee Anderson. Xiao Yan Sun. Zhou Ran Wang, high distinction. Zoe Trin Win. Cole Michael Bryant. Hannah Jane Climas, Summa cum laude, high distinction, Bradley Harrison Tate. Grace Isabella Pyer. Tianxin Elena Shi, high distinction. Xin Yuan Liu. Kai Yuan Dong, high distinction. Jing Hao Wang, distinction. Carter Julian Curdy, distinction. Abigail Magnuson, distinction. Russell Dylan Brown, distinction. Abby Sly, high distinction.
Azure Brooks.
Madeline Grace Machinsky. Madeline Rose Smith, distinction.
Grant Johnston.
Beck Robert Allenson, high distinction. Mario Christian Generou. Macario Ramirez Moriarty, distinction. Griffin McKinney, distinction. Julia R. Waller, high distinction. Margaret Frances Engel, distinction. Lauren Simpson. May Elizabeth Heiser, high distinction. Kaylee Jo Youngberg. Ian D. Metzger. Eloise Elaine Pfeiffer. Cecilia Marie Starkey. Maddie Jean Cherney. Emily Lynn Georgry. Javier Avalar. Lam Yui Pham. Caitlin Nicole Canfield. Maggie Wong. Sam Patrick Mims, distinction. Brandon William Balma, summa cum laude, distinction. Owen Wade Keating.
Paul Krennick, summa cum laude, with high distinction.
Irina Kathleen Wilson, summa cum laude, distinction. Asha Kaliappan, summa cum laude. Elaine E. Lowe, summa cum laude, high distinction. Ebtihal Yassin Asman. Huda Ali Ahmed, distinction. Zaira Flores Jaimes. Lauren Odins. Nicholas Kalani Knight Simafranca, distinction. Zach Sankin. Ikra Ali Mohamud. Bear Morgan. Lucia Morelos Quintero. Li Wei Chen. Yunfan Dang, distinction. Maznu Adam. Ridwan A. Mohammed. Megan R. Yermstead. Haley Marie Christensen. Jordan Jeanette Waldinger. Nathan John LaValle. Jack Donald Otto.
Sumira Isa.
Ilhan Hussein Haji Kamal.
Goldie Gopher. Dean Waltner. Dean Waltner, it is my pleasure to present the 2024 College of Liberal Arts degree candidates.
It is now my pleasure to ask Regent James Farnsworth to formally confer the degrees. Regent Farnsworth, I am honored to present you the candidates who have completed requirements for the College of Liberal Arts degrees.
Dean Waltner, thank you for inviting me to be here today. On behalf of the University of Minnesota Board of Regents, I am honored to preside at this commencement. To the graduates, I extend congratulations. We are here to celebrate not only your academic accomplishments, but also your potential to make a positive difference in the next stage of your lives. You will be contributing to your communities, the state of Minnesota, the nation, and even the world. To your families and friends, thank you for your support of these students as they earned their academic degrees. And now, will the graduates please rise if they are able? Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the Board of Regents, I confer upon you the degrees for which you have qualified. Congratulations, and let us acknowledge your achievements.
So congratulations, graduates, families, and friends. You have many reasons to be proud of the accomplishments you take with you into the communities of Minnesota, our nation, and the world. We will be proud to welcome you back on your next visit to the campus as alumni of the College of Liberal Arts at the University of Minnesota. One more small detail. I invite you to move your tassel from the right of your motorboard to the left. To declare to the world that you are, oh, and spin it too, yeah, that, to declare to the world that you are now a graduate of the University of Minnesota. So In closing, let's join our vocalists from the School of Music singing Hail Minnesota. Please stand for our alma mater and let the celebration begin. And one final word to the graduates. Could you exit near the nearest stairwell? Congratulations. I think I did shake every one of your hands, and I appreciated all the wonderful smiles I got. Go out and enjoy the rest of this lovely, beautiful day with your friends and families.